President of the United States, Donald Trump, has confronted the head of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell. The data of the agency in charge of the country's monetary policy contradict the tenet of the White House. This Friday, in a new act of interference, the U.S. President ordered the Fed to lower interest rates so as not to harm the economy. But the president of the organization does not share the criteria and warns that the head of state's tariff measures seriously complicate the country's outlook. Powell assured that since the announcement, they are facing a very uncertain outlook with high risk of increased unemployment and inflation. And the losses caused by the tariffs implemented by the U.S. administration since last Tuesday amount to more than $3 trillion. These economic measures are already leaving their first consequences on the stock market, which is the space where financial assets are bought and sold. According to calculations by financial portals in the country, Wall Street, the main financial bloc in the United States, has lost $9.6 trillion since Trump's inauguration. Likewise, the main stock market indexes reported falls. This is the case of the technological Nasdaq, with a total of more than 5,000 companies, which lost 5.97%. In this context, analysts warn that Trump's tariff war poses a significant risk to global economic growth. And in response to the increase in tariffs imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump, the Indian government has promised to act. When Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in the 6th Summit of the Gulf of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation in Thailand, he proposed a 21-point action plan that addressed the various facets of cooperation among the bloc's members nations. He also explained that in order to define the course of action and the opportunities that may arise from the new U.S. tax package, he is continuing to work with all industry stakeholders and domestic exporters, while also reviewing the tariff situation with his economic team. And U.S. President Donald Trump deals a strong blow to the far-right government of Argentine President Javier Milei. The tariff war sinks the Merval index by almost 10%. The White House measure also had a significant impact on the certificates of Argentinian companies known as ADR, some of which fell by up to 15%. The most affected are Banco Superville BBVA and Macro, which fell between 15 and 13.5%. In view of the situation, the country risk indicator prepared by the firm JP Morgan shot up in the South American nation to 925 points. The Merval index, which measures the performance of Argentine shares and markets, fell up to 10 points. And after participating in the American Patriots Gala in Florida, Argentine President Javier Milei returned to Buenos Aires without a photo with his U.S. counterpart, Donald Trump. The fact caused uneasiness in the government, since the meeting with the U.S. President was one of the main objectives of this trip, as it would have served as a message of strength in the negotiations with the International Monetary Fund. President Milei was awarded the Lion of Liberty Award and gave a speech in which he defended the neoliberal system. The head of state also announced that Argentina will adapt its legislation to meet the requirements of the new tariff system promoted by President Trump's administration.